And welcome back to Who Would Win. This one comes to us from Phantom X, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Lord Boros from One Punch Man versus Jasper from Steven Universe? Now, give me 1 second to actually get Jasper's page of information back up here, because I know about Lord Boros. Don't know his race's name or anything, but I know about Lord Boros because I've had him I've done a fight with him already. Lord Boros, we'll start with Lord Boros as I'm getting Jasper up. Lord Boros is, basically, he was a galactic conqueror. His species has high regenerative capabilities, and he has high regenerative capabilities even for his species. He basically went around the galaxy looking for a prophesized warrior who was said to defeat him or give him his greatest fight ever. So he's a proud warrior, but he's also cruel. He can also be cruel, obviously. He does have a level of honor and respect, but also has no qualms about destroying a planet if it will suit his needs. I believe the data book. See, the data book is there's a little bit of inconsistency or uncertainty on where his power level actually stands. Some say he's a subplanet level individual that he could raise the whole surface of the planet with that cannon. I can't remember the name of the cannon, but it was a cannon that was going to pretty much destroy everything, at least in sight. But he could either destroy the planet or at least destroy the surface of the planet. I've heard other people say he's a starbuster. I believe the official data book says he's a starbuster. But, I mean, either way, he's at the very minimum a subplanetary threat. He could probably, if he wanted to go full out, he could probably destroy a planet. But he's a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, capable of moving at blitzkrieg speeds. Hit with the force to send an individual from the surface of the planet. Well, not the true surface of it. They're still on his airship or his spaceship. But from the surface of his ship, which is still maybe like a mile up, to the surface of the moon and cause a crater in the moon. And then Saitama just jumped back. He was actually strong enough to give Saitama a relatively solid fight. He actually could survive blows from Saitama, even though Saitama had learned to at least pull his punches at that point. You know, normal consecutive punches were still strong enough to usually blow individuals apart, but because of Boros' regeneration capabilities, even if he got blown apart, as long as there was bits of him left, he could just reform himself and continue fighting. But that kind of regeneration does shorten his lifespan, things along those lines. Someone's walking down the street. He even said that he doesn't like to use it if he can, but he'll still go full out if he can. Again, very brutal in combat. He's very much a physically oriented guy. He wears suppression armor to keep his power suppressed, generally speaking. And again, the fact that he could actually survive even normal punches from Saitama was impressive. The fact that Saitama actually had to fight against him, even though it's clear that because he's One Punch Man, he's still not going to lose the fight. And he even says, like, you were still holding back in that fight. I guess you were just too strong. Ultimately, though, he is powerful. He got I can't remember you know what? I'm going to look up the name of it. What was his attack? Like Roaring Thunder Cannon? Roaring something Cannon. Lord Boros, leader of the Boros Guild. That would be a fucking magic card, wouldn't it? Lord Boros. Well, there you go. Give me your ideas of what Lord Boros' magic card would be. That'd be quite an interesting card. Well, I mean, he clearly wouldn't be a white aligned character. He definitely would at least have black and probably some red in him. Let's see now here. Powers and abilities. Okay, there we go. Regeneration. Like the rest of the race, he has a cover regeneration with Boros surpassing everyone else stayed before. He's shown to regrow an arm in seconds by just concentrating his energy. When struck by Saitama's consecutive blows, he was blown apart, was able to regenerate his whole body in an instant. His regeneration has a limit, though, as shown in the end. He lost as Saitama was unable to regenerate again after being struck by a serious strike. Energy projection can use his latent energy in his body to project energy. Power release, fighting style, trump card, meteoric burst, which is basically the attack that sent Saitama to the moon, where he basically charges the individual and just boom wails him, and like energy is released. Power, it's amazing. Collapsing star, roaring cannon. That was the technique. It's been being powerful enough to destroy a planet, while in the manga it stayed to be powerful enough to destroy the surface of the planet. So essentially, it's at the very minimum subplanetary in terms of its power. Possibly planetary. Jasper is apparently gems are actual sentient beings, individuals. They can, just eat, sleep, fall in love, have children, that kind of thing. And Jasper is what's known as a. Now, Jasper ended up becoming corrupted. We're not going to use corrupted Jasper unless you want me to. Frankly, it wouldn't really make much sense. I don't think corrupted Jasper is really wouldn't make a lot of sense in terms of the fight. But Jasper is, how did they describe her? High-ranking gem soldier. It's supposed to be like the ultimate quartz in this case. Very arrogant, but also it's basically to hide her insecurities. She looks down below even high-rank gem soldiers, but if you're shown to be a good combatant, like a good warrior, she will show respect where respect is given. Very aggressive and hypocritical in actions towards Earth and the failed gem colony planet. Earth is regarded as a failure home. She has developed self-image issues. So essentially, if you could break her down a bit psychologically, you could probably win against her pretty easy. Her abilities include invoking a weapon, a crystal-shaped helmet, which can be used for offense and defense. Let's see here. Durability-wise, she is... Let's see here. I'm trying to get all the things here. Durability-wise, what was it? That's right. She survived withstanding the point-blank explosion of a gem warship reactor, which probably is, given the way that most science fiction ships run, it's probably got nuclear power, or is at least the equivalent of. Falling crash and explosion of entire ship unprotected, being hit with enough force to send her flying over the horizon, being struck with enough force by the rose quartz sword, which has the power to easily destroy a gem's physical body, to be driven through a corrupted gem, proofing it in the process, which I'm guessing is like, I don't know what proofing is in this case, all without proofing once. It takes Peridot driving a piece of scrap metal clear through her chest and out her back to finally proof her. I'm guessing proof is kind of like their equivalent of killing. And even then, that was only after she had been corrupted. Or turning them into the gems, I should say. She confused with others, but we're not going to do that. She is a proficient martial artist, very bloodthirsty in the way she fights, very brutal. She can use grappling style throwing attacks with swift punches. Due to her nature of a weapon, the two styles mix seamlessly and combine with a powerful, ultimately reckless fighting style with immense collateral damage. She is also skilled enough to outclass Amethyst, who herself is quite powerful. Headbutting, just headbutts individuals. She can also pilot, not that that will matter much. Comet charge, she can lunge at an opponent at alarming speed, power capable of breaking through layers of a hard gemstone. While she performs this attack, a fiery order appears around her. Her spin dash is kind of like a Sonic the Hedgehog attack. She spins at an enemy in a ball. She has something called the Dead Gem Destabilizer, which only works on gems, so crystal gems, so it's not going to work on Boros. Ultimately, she's a pretty powerful foe. She's one of the strongest characters they've seen in the Steven universe so far. So how does this fight break down? Well, Boros comes across looking for the ultimate warrior. Amethyst's warship or whatever, or her crystal gem ship. And, they hail her and heralds her, and she goes, it's like another one to convert and whatever. And so she decides to make the open assault on Lord Boros' ship. Kind of starts going through his men, gets to him. It's like, I'm going to take you up. And then Boros is just like, no. And she starts throwing punches. Physically, she's very strong, but Boros has had decades, probably centuries of combat experience at least. So he's just boom. They're both got a bit of a brawler style, but his is a bit more of a savage brawler, whereas hers is a bit more refined savage. So, but at the same time, he's the kind of individual who has white plans out on his own power alone, probably. So in a physical bout, they're actually kind of equal in terms of physical strength and skill. But Boros just blocking. His power right now is suppressed. Amethyst just headbutts him, boom, and then she just charges and just thinks she just blows him apart, but his armor just fell off. He just quickly regenerates, and then explains himself. Now they're suppressed. My great power. Then he charges at her and just blasts her through a hole. So now they're in space, probably. They can. I believe a gem can breathe in space. So they're duking it out in space. Now Boros is just starting to wail on her. She's getting just pissed. It's like just pissed and irrational because why can't she hurt him at this point? Every time she even gets a solid hit, maybe just boom, blows him apart. He just not at this time. The problem in this fight is Jasper doesn't have a technique or power that could put Boros down. Boros' regeneration is far more than anything Jasper could probably comprehend or could handle. And he's also just overall he's got far more actual power, like legitimate energy and power. He himself alone has the power to at minimum destroy the surface of a world. Jasper does not. Jasper's strong. Jasper is like a global threat if you wanted to be, but not in the same level that Boros is. And that's the problem, is that when Boros finally decides that he wants to take this seriously, he could do a meteor strike and just crack her because I don't know if it would kill her, but definitely maybe crack her a bit or injure her. Granted, she could survive a point-blank massive explosion, being thrown over the horizon, things along those lines. But again, we're talking about a guy who can actually wail on Saitama. Not hurt Saitama, but actually wail on Saitama to some degree, which we know for a fact is impressive given who Saitama is in his own series. So the fight will continue for a good while. Eventually, Boros will just, figure that I'm just going to end this meteor strike, blast her over the horizon. But she does eventually make it back. She's pissed. And then he's just kind of really. Truth be told, this is taking place in space, though, so if he punched her out into space, I don't know if she has any capable, like she has like a rocket booster or something on her that would allow her to come back. Let's hypothetically say she does, just to continue the fight for a bit. Boros sees her and is like, unlike with Saitama, it's like, this guy makes me want to go on. It's more like, really? Really? We've already established you can't beat me, and then she just blows his head off by just, poof! We've already established, you can't beat me. And then she's starting to just go crazy and psychotic. Ah! And then, he just uses latent energy and just blasts her, this time destroying what jetpack and just blasting her into space, and maybe just passing by her sun, just blowing her into a sun and just incinerating her. So, yeah, Boros is going to win this. The reason Boros is going to win this is, A, if he decided to use his, again, with roaring cannon, his final attack, he would decimate her. She's not planetary level durability. But apart from that, he can just outlast her. She does not have the physical ability or even special powers to take him on. She just doesn't have the ability to kill him and put him down. Which is unfortunate, because otherwise, it would probably be a closer fight, a more interesting fight. But Jasper ultimately can't physically, I keep saying can't physically. I think physically they're actually probably on par with each other from a physical strength standpoint. But she can't put him down. She could delay him, but he'll just regenerate back, and eventually she will tire herself out, whereas he will not quite have the same issue. In fact, really, his meteor strike attack will probably be enough to just kind of keep her out of the way, really. And even so, even if that doesn't work, he can just eventually blast her into a nearby star or something like that, and that'd be the end of her. So ultimately, yeah, I gotta go lower Boros. Is there a way she can win? I'll be honest, I can't say there is, simply for the fact that I can't think of anything she has on her that would actually kill Boros. Because that'd be the only way she could win the fight in this case, is to kill him. And she doesn't have anything, as far as I can tell, that can kill him. So ultimately, yeah, I gotta go Boros 100% of the time. But let me know if you think different. Do you think Jasper actually could stand a legitimate shot of winning a fight with Boros? And if so, how? I'd like to know how you think that. But thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. I just would win Star Wars Superhero Magic. What if? Anything I do on the channel? Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. I just would win Star Wars Superhero Magic. What if? Anything I do on the channel? Put that in the comments below as well. So, yeah, what if? There'll be two what ifs will be the closer out for the week, along with the box office video on Sunday. Thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Later, folks.